All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Brother Washington Muhammad, and this is the CSRN weekly podcast or podcast week in review. As we always do. No, I know you're worried about where's Jody and who's that. Well, you find out. You find out later. What we're going to do right now is play our intro video. So stay tuned, like, share, comment, and we will be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, this is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Beck. Yeah, we'll get to our guest second, all right? 8 years ago, they had an idea that just ordinary people could speak truth to power. They didn't have to be professionals, pastors, politicians, or preachers. Just have your facts together, maybe have a bullhorn and make it happen. So they came up with this concept called Community Solidarity Day. And then they called me and asked me if I would help organize and plan with them. And here we are, 9 years in November 25th. It will be 9 years that we've been organizing like that. All right, today, what am I wearing? I've got on my gray glasses, and I got these from Kristen Moncrief. She owns that Optical Bus, Twix in between. So if you see my sister, Christian, let her know that Brother Washington shouted her out. So I should get a 20 to 30% discount next time on my next pair of glasses, because I am going to get another pair of glasses from her. I've got on my CSRN Toledo shirt. It says All Black Lives Matter, Justice or Else. I've got on my beads. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black under the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. I don't have Jody here today, and I don't know what's up with Jody. Every once in a while, he's coming in the studio right now. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to read our mission statement. This is the heart of what we do. And if you're organizing grassroots, it would be best to have a mission statement. Otherwise, someone can easily come in, take over, and you'll be operating under their mission statement. This is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014. The day after it was announced that the killer of Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events that help to foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice equally applied to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that last quote is from our brother, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who you saw in our intro video. Family, what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with our special guest. So stay tuned. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review. As a regular CSRN tradition, we always ask our guests to introduce themselves, what they're wearing, and what are we talking about today. So, who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
Thank you so much, Brother Muhammad. My name is Petee Talley, and I am the convener and executive director of an organization called the Ohio Coalition on Black Civic Participation. But on the street, we're known as the Ohio Unity Coalition.
Yeah, that's what I know. I'm like, hold on, those two different things.
Right.
Okay.
One's my government name, the other one's my street name, my government name. So,
all right, that's what's up.
Yeah. So, the coalition, well, first of all, I go by pronouns she and her. Today, I am wearing a black and white T-shirt. It says "Souls to the Polls."
Okay.
I'm gonna describe my glasses. My glasses didn't come from the sister on the bus, but I want to get some from her.
That's right.
I went the inexpensive route and got mine from Zenny. And so they're little floral colored glasses.
Is that online?
Zenny, Zenny online.
All right. Shout out to Zenny.
And I'm in the 8th month of my journey of trying to lock my hair. So
okay. All right. That ship has sailed back in the 80s with me with the Jerry curl. All right. So
okay.
Hey, I tapped out. I tapped out years ago.
Some of us don't have a choice.
That's right. That's right. Okay. I like that. All right. All right. The Ohio Unity Coalition, when did you become involved? I always like to hear a person's origin story on how they got involved. Did somebody twist their arm? What happened? So
I come out of the labor world. I worked in Toledo for a local labor union, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, as their secretary. And that was back in 1980. Started working there through a series of events, mostly getting involved with either organizing campaigns or political campaigns. I actually rose through the ranks of organized labor from 1980 and went on to become the first woman elected to the state Ohio AFL-CIO ever in the history.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Back in 2002. But along the way, I had some very interesting opportunities to kind of work on the ground, doing grassroots organizing around getting people registered to vote and getting people mobilized to turn out to vote. But what was unique about my organizing was that I was doing it all in the Black community.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So I left the organizing of the union members to the other folks in the union, and I took the route of organizing in the Black community and found that that was where I could have most impact.
That's awesome. All right. So we're talking about issue 1. What is it, and why is it so important? Because I watch TV, I see the articles on why you should vote yes on issue 1. And there are some people that have even come up to me and said, hey, listen, these ads on that says vote yes on issue 1, they're glossy, they have that feel to it that makes you want to go out and vote yes. But you're saying, Brother Washington, we should vote no. Which one is it? So I'll tell them, hold on. We're going to have Petee. We're going to have one of the experts on this on Tuesday. So that one person, one vote, tag is really important. And why should people know?
First of all, let me just say I'm not a spokesperson for the campaign directly.
Okay.
I just happen to agree with the vote no on issue 1 campaign.
Right.
I just happen to agree that that is in fact something that we, particularly as Black people, should do, right? Because we have to protect the principle of one vote. Other than that, our democracy, our fight to even be a part of our democracy in this country will be for naught. So state issue 1, first and foremost, is born out of political maneuvering of the General Assembly members in Columbus, Ohio, right? Who brought this issue up out of nowhere during the last legislative cycle, in the form of a resolution to bring this issue before the voters, which many of us who follow politics thought was kind of, where's that coming from? We later learned that it is coming from their desire to really grab more power than they currently have. They already have a great amount of power in the gerrymandered districts that they are in, but they wanted even more power.
Right.
So we thought that, okay, there must be something to this. They did not pass the resolution to put issue 1 on the ballot in the last session in 2022.
I remember that.
Remember that fight?
Yeah.
So they came back very early in this legislative session, and we just kind of duked it out. They did not get it passed until May. They ultimately did get it passed in May. And so now it is being presented to us, the voters, as State Issue 1. State Issue 1, if it is proved by the voters, is going to require that any proposed constitutional amendment placed on the ballot of a statewide election must receive at least 60% support to be approved. And this, what the yes side is not telling you, this is a change from the current passage rate of a simple majority of 50% plus 1. The impact of that, though, if we think about it, is that if a majority of voters want to pass any measure, and I'll just pick a few.
Go ahead.
State minimum wage, if we want to boost that up to $15 an hour, or even if we want to hold police accountable by eliminating qualified immunity for police officers who kill innocent people.
Right.
Or redistricting, for that matter, to ensure that legislative districts are drawn fairly, that means that that measure would have to pass by 60%, which also, think about it in reverse, that means 41% of the voters can cause any of those measures that I mentioned to fail, even though 59% of us vote for the measure to pass.
I get it. Now, this early voting now, I know that once everyone sees this podcast and stream it later, hey, shout out to, I think that's Marquisa Horton.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, okay. And Cameron Kaiser, Jody Summers. Thank you, everyone that's watching this. We're trying our best to hold ourselves accountable by bringing on those experts and those people that know just a little bit more than myself and Jody. And it's hard to find those type of people. So you talked about when you became involved in politics and how it came to be. Let's hear a little bit about the Ohio Unity Coalition. I wanted to bring up the website. Jody always has me to make sure, hey, we need to find out who these people are. Come on, Jody.
Makes sense.
Put me on the spot like that. All right. So we looked at the website. We're going to put the website on the stream for everyone to see. All right. That's us right there. All right. So
I should mention about our website. We are currently kind of reformatting our website. We wanted the presence of our website to begin with this campaign. Normally we would have some additional content, and that we'll go back to that after this campaign. But we wanted people to really find out what is the deal with protecting one person, one vote with our website.
And also for everyone, it's a beautiful website. It catches you right when you log in, and that's ohiounity.org. So those of us that are watching this on your phone or on your laptop or tablet, go ahead and create another tab right now. We're just going to go through some of the things that you see on the site. Oh, and I think that we saw some of the yard signs, all right, with the one vote. We talked about that yesterday. And if you see in back of us, we've got our one vote. Don't ask me where we got that from, but all right.
Okay.
We have got our ways of getting stuff. All right.
Well, what you're seeing, if I may, what you're seeing on the website is our how we look at the issue of what the impact of the constitutional amendment will do as it relates to our folks. And our graphics don't look necessarily like the campaigns, but it's still aligned with the campaign. So we wanted to make sure that Black voters could see themselves in this campaign, and that they understood that democracy as a whole is under attack. But for us who have just gotten the right to vote,
that's right.
You know, not hundreds of years ago.
That's right.
But you know, in a shorter period of time,
right.
The impact on us is even more important, because it's going to have these far-reaching implications. But if I can talk about the mission of the Unity Coalition, because we've been around now, we've been doing this work in Ohio, going all the way back to the 1980s. But we've only incorporated in the state as a 501c3 since 2019. Because I was doing my job in the union movement, the union allowed me time to do some of the organizing that I was doing out in the community under the banner of the Unity Coalition. We are one of 9 state affiliates of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. That's a coalition that is comprised of a number of organizations, the Panhell, the Divine Nine Panhellenic people, it's the faith union movement, it is unions, it is political parties, could be on both sides of the aisle.
That's right.
Our mission is to leverage the resources that we get from funding sources who support the increased civic participation in elections of Black residents across Ohio.
That's what's up.
That's what we do. We do this by helping social service, civic, and community organizations come together and collaborate in order to maximize resources so that we can register, educate, and mobilize Black voters to the polls to vote in every election. And like I said, we've been doing this work for some time, but we've only been incorporated since 2019 as a 501c3 organization in the state of Ohio, which means that if you're hearing this in the sound of my voice and you want to make a contribution, a tax-free contribution to the Unity Coalition, you can do so.
All right. And right now we have on the website, you can donate now. Just put we'll put Jody's name in there in this email. we can put as many zeros as we want.
Thank you, Jody.
Right. So, and also whenever you hear the term Black Lives Matter, this matters too. All right. This is a part of Black life, defending our dignity, making sure that our votes count, making sure that we're organized. So if you believe in the mission statement of CSRN, if you believe in our guiding principle that all lives matter, all Black lives matter, and we're the creators of this space, we throw no one under the bus, we rise together, ashe. So we'd like for you to get out to vote, but also donate to those organizations that are working for you. We see Petee here. She's not behind a desk somewhere. She's not behind a keyboard. She is out in the streets, all right? And anyone that comes on at CSRN, they're about that work, Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is self-care. That's an important and essential part of what we do, because our work involves trauma, because we're letting people know that there's something wrong. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people may not want to hear what we have to say. Jody has this poem where he starts off and says, knock, knock. And he talks about going knocking on doors, educating people to vote, and having dogs sicked on them. We need to do that, all right? We need to dust that off, all right? And bring that back. Just let you know, Jody, that I'm listening to you. And it's a wonderful piece that he wrote for people like us that are passionate about what we believe, that are passionate about letting others know that you have a say-so in this. At the end of the day, Petee, what do you do to rebalance, to bring it back to balance? What do you do?
That's a good question. And I'm married. I have a wonderful husband who gives me a lot of room to do this work. After retiring from a 38-year career in organized labor.
What's his name? Can we shout him out?
Yeah, we can. Cornell Talley.
All right, Cornell, brother
Thank you,
Cornell.
Cornell.
Thank you for your donation of your beautiful wife to the struggle. Oftentimes, sister, the only people that are passionate may not be the best ones, but it's awesome. We have the intelligence, we have the integrity, we have the know-how attached to helping. It makes a big difference. But unfortunately, the best and brightest do not step up. So that just leaves myself and Jody to do all the work. And people wonder why you guys taking so long, because all the smart people step back.
Yes. And that the same is true in my organization. This is a brand new, not a brand new, but a new and emerging organization. And people are recognizing us and supporting us because we do not cower in the corner, but we step forward to mobilize and organize people. There was a saying on a wall in a union hall I went into, and they said, in order to organize Black people, you got to love Black people.
That's right.
And so we do this work out of love. We do it out of a need to do so. And at the end of the day, this thing about self-care, I don't do it as well as I should. I've got to get better with that because I'm running right now full steam ahead, and I will not stop until August the 9th when this election is over with. One of the things that makes me know I haven't done well by myself is when I look down at my fingernails and my fingernail polish is all chipped and cracked. I'm like, okay, Petee, you need to pull over because you are not taking good care of yourself.
That's right.
I should be able to take at least 45 minutes to go sit in the salon and get my nails done. So I'm looking at my nails right now, and I know I need to pull over and do some self-care. I know I'm running too hard right now, but I have a team of people. We organized to do this work, not just in the Toledo area. We are a statewide organization, so we're working in Columbus and Cleveland and Cincinnati and Youngstown and Dayton. Matter of fact, my team right now is on the phone calling voters to tell them about the special election of August 8th.
That's awesome.
And they are telling them, encouraging them, giving them education about what is on the ballot, which is issue 1, and encouraging them to, make a plan to go vote, whether they vote by mail, they go early vote or vote on election day. And if they tell us that they're going to vote by mail, we are capturing that information at the end of each phone bank. I get a report at the end of the night, and then we're mailing an application out to each of those voters that request an application. That's how important this campaign is. The people that put this campaign, the issue 1 on the ballot, they were counting on us being asleep.
That's right.
They were counting on us not being aware. They were counting on people the campaign not coming to our community and telling us about the impact in our community. And I said, not on my watch.
That's great. And I like to add, even the wording that they use, vote yes on issue 1. If you weren't here, it's a great chance that a lot of us look at that word yes as a positive. And when they put it on the ballot, I think in 2022, it confused a lot of people because it was bundled in a lot of other things. So we had some of our best and brightest to come on this podcast and let people know, hey, listen, it's not what you think. Whatever they're saying downtown, whatever they're saying at the state, no, it's a trick. So now they had to kind of pull it out and give it a yes, so that if we're not wise, we'll go out and vote yes instead of voting no. So I'm glad that you made that attempt. And I want to shout out Sean Nestor, because we were talking about this last week. And like, hey, look, we got to have someone come on and talk about this, because if we talk about it, people just they think, oh yeah, they hate everything. Right? So we wanted to step back and say, okay, let's call Sean If Sean can't come on, Sean's going to know someone smarter. All right, so let's give him a call. And man, he tapped you in. I want to thank you for coming on. And we're talking about the Ohio Unity Coalition, defending our dignity. We want you to check out their website, protect one person. One person, one vote. And if you want to know more about them, there's how you can connect with them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's the I think that's the 188 number that you could call.
Yes.
You can email. Nowadays, we have zero excuse for not knowing. All right. You got to try extra hard to be ignorant nowadays.
That's
all right.
right.
I got to get up early, work like a full-time job. And I heard someone say that there's a thing called aggressive ignorance. That's when you don't know and you don't want to know. All right. And we have to fight through that type of thing. All right, Petee. I'm looking at Jody's like, hey, look, it's almost 6:30. Okay. And I know that you're busy. You got some other another engagement that you have to get to. As we close out, if you could spend a few minutes just talking about the importance of getting out, the importance of making our vote count, what would you have to say to those that are watching?
I would say that for us, particularly Black voters across the state of Ohio, our turnout in elections has been steadily declining.
That's right.
In the last, 15 years or so. And we've got to reverse that. The reason politicians in Columbus or politicians in Washington, D.C., the reason they disregard us is because they look at our numbers and they know they don't have to be accountable to us.
That's right.
Because they look at the numbers and say, those folks are not going to vote anyway. We can do whatever we want to do. If we are going to see change in our community, whether it's in our health, whether it's in housing or education, we have got to make sure that we're not just concerned about ourselves voting on election day, but we have to get back to voting in numbers that we voted in, like in 2008.
That's right.
And you know what was going on.
I was there for that.
2008, right?
I was there for that. Yeah.
But we can do it.
That's right.
We absolutely can do it. So it's not enough to just take yourself to the poll and say, oh, I did my duty.
That's right.
We've got to make sure our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors, we've got push cards in the community that say vote no on issue 1. Did you know? Did you first know there was a special election, right?
Oh, wow.
And so we're pushing those out. We're going to come in some of the houses some of the home voters that we're targeting. We're going to hang a door hanger on the door. Right in the city of Toledo, the Unity Coalition has we paid for 12 of those bus benches across the city that are strategically placed. You will see our ad there, the same ad that you see on our website. You will see on a bunch bench. We're going to also do some radio spots. This election, y'all, is as much about us as the 2008 election was in the state of Ohio. If we're going to start to see change in the state of Ohio and hold these politicians accountable that are in Columbus, Ohio, we absolutely have to go out and vote. One other group I do want to mention, if it's okay, brother,
it's
Washington,
okay.
We've been partnered. A national group reached out to us in 2022, Black Voters Matter, like Black Lives Matter, Black Voters Matter.
That's right.
A group out of Atlanta, Georgia. And we've been partnered with them on a number of years. And they sent to us a ton of T-shirts so that we can create some awareness.
Okay.
And help people to understand, this is about us and it's about empowering. And so I wanted to bring you a Black Voters Matter T-shirt.
Oh, well, all right.
I have to get one for Jody. I didn't know you were going to be here, Jody.
I didn't say he was going to be here either. I was going to get all the shirts.
It's a Black Voters Matter T-shirt, but I'm going to give this to Brother Muhammad. But your viewers can also get a T-shirt. We are located at 2903 Dorr Street. If you come by, we have a campaign up now called Text T for your tea. Text 3 for your tea. And all we're asking you to do is to scan the code, text 3 of your contacts in your contact list,
right,
and encourage them to vote in this election. And they will get a Black Voters Matter t-shirt to wear throughout the summer. And then we also have some hoodies, so they can get some hoodies. And then I also wanted you to have
the gifts just keep coming.
Did a Juneteenth Celebrate Freedom Vote No on August 8th t-shirt, and I wanted you to have one of those as well.
We got to have you back all the time.
Come around and see us. We got an office space at 2903 Dorr Street, which is right in the Rocket Plaza, right off of as you go past Westwood and Dorr Street.
All right.
Start looking to your left. It used to be the Petee Pit used to be up in there. It's called Rocket Plaza.
Okay.
We're right up in there. You'll see our logo and stuff on the sign. Come down, volunteer. Maybe you can go hang some door hangers for us. If you do that, you'll get a t-shirt, and just come down and be a part of the community. We can empower our community, but it's up to us. It's not up to Petee, Talley, and the Unity Coalition alone. You should see yourself as a part of this effort and this movement to make sure that we're increasing the civic participation of Black voters in this city and across the state of Ohio.
Petee, I want to thank you for coming by, and if we could give some applause from our audience to let her know that we appreciate you for being here today. Would you mind coming back at another time to just share some of your political expertise that's needed now to help everyone better organize, not just to organize just haphazardly, but on principle and about the things that really matter in our community?
Absolutely. Would love to come back. A. Philip Randolph said, at the banquet of life, there are no reserved seats. You get what you can take, and you keep what you can hold.
That's
right. If you can't if you can't take anything, you won't get anything. And if you can't take anything, you can't hold anything, and you get nothing without organization. So we got to be organized when we're doing the civic, this political work of registering voters. And that's the whole purpose of the Unity Coalition.
All right. Thank you, sister. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers, because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers, or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes, which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do, because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3, BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
Oh, let's bring this back down. We are back. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review. Shout out to Petee Talley from the Ohio Unity Coalition to come in and talk about why we should vote no on issue 1. One protect, one person, one vote. And if issue 1 is approved by the voters, it will require that any proposed constitutional amendment placed on the ballot of the statewide election must receive at least 60% support to be approved. This is a change from the current passage rate of a majority 50+1. So it's important that we get out. It's important that we get out to vote. Early voting has started. It's already started.
Yep.
So we can go ahead and get out and vote. I'm going to be a part of the change. Say either be a part of the solution or be a part of the problem.
Right.
Right. And you know, I know we had some confusion earlier, you know, when we came on, Petee was here and people were like, where's Jody? Did he lose another job? What happened? All right. So if you could introduce yourself, who you are. We didn't do our Black Lives Matter moment. So if you could introduce yourself, who you are, and if you could think of one of the things that we've done in the cause of all Black Lives Matter that's really stood out to you, what would that be? And then we'll keep it moving.
Okay. What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, treasurer of this wonderful organization, getting my sounds and volumes tested, because as y'all know, last week we had a completely different setup.
Yes,
but it's
sir.
Just part of progress.
Hey,
Keep going
it is
and
what
stuff,
it is.
Adjustments and everything like that. Shoot, what was the question again?
Who are you?
What was my
What are you
moment?
wearing
Well,
in your Black Lives Matter moment?
Well, for those of you out there that are listening, we also do this, and I thank her for doing that, the gender pronouns and describing herself, because so many people forget that distracted driving is a real thing.
That's right.
Distracted really doing anything. If you guys want to have us playing, because we know this is about the time people get off, trying to figure out lunch, kids, school, sports, all that stuff. So you want to just have us in the background and stuff like that. That is best and preferred. You could always come back and watch the podcast later.
Yeah, that's
now
right.
That you got the whole full podcast experience of noticing.
Absolutely.
I move my shirt a little bit. That goes along with the
it's all
poem for
good.
later on. But if you are listening, I am a big black brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from people that I've actually met, like physically met, not point
Right.
click and just
That's
buy
right.
on my journey. So the people that you see around my neck, I'm sans one thing, but Kay Renee is going to fix that. Shout out to her and Energy and all of the open mics that she's been hosting again. So soon you'll see me with another tooth, but you know, things, years and stuff like that go on and things break, they fall off, they belong to other people now.
That's right.
So that is kind of who I am, what I look like. If you're listening, the hat that I'm wearing is my art brand that took from scribbles on paper to books to performances to now clothing brands, including the shirt, which maybe one day I'll have available to purchase for everybody. I'm not too big on shirts and stuff now, but more so on hats because that's kind of what I do. But the shirts and stuff, you know, same brand, different logo, or same shirt, different logo. You'll hear about it later on the phone. But I think my Black Lives Matter moment is. And again, I've been lumping everything into one because we're almost a decade old.
That's right.
It's hard to pick out things, but the consistency of things is something I can pick out. So our forms.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
On voting, since that's the topic.
That's
today,
right. That's right.
And that's probably going to be the topic until the 9th, is that because me and Brother Washington are both voting election officials.
That's right.
I'm still precinct captain 18C, which is a voted on election position, but my duty is to help people vote.
That's right.
Just like and some other stuff, my job is not for you to look at me, not for you to idolize me. It's for you to find you.
That's right.
So that's more of what I push out into everything. Some people is like, oh, why do you get this? Why do you deserve that? I'm not going for it, but the people that see me in these places, and I got an announcement at the end of the show,
all right,
see that that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to get sponsorships or deals or do shows because I want you to like me. I want you to like you.
That's right.
So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. My Black Lives Matter moment, because nobody else was doing forums. Everybody, you either go to the news or you hear from a candidate when it's time to vote. No other time of the year. And we were like, you know, this is a big thing in the community. We are the main push to decide how we get redistricted.
That's right.
How we get funds in, because as a semi-politician, say that because I don't get paid for my job and like an alderman in bigger cities, but we're supposed to help you know what's right, what's wrong, what's being done to you. And if you don't show up, we don't see you. That is the ultimate thing with politics. We're like, oh, I'm not voting because I don't like people. You need to. You need to, because that's where they get their numbers from.
That's
if
right.
They want to dole out $100,000. We got the Doug being revitalized with the community gardens. Sonia, shout out to her. I was there this morning at the crack of dawn and all that stuff with the recreation of the ribbon cutting. And things don't happen like that unless you go out to vote, because otherwise you're just an area that they could try and exploit and gentrify and all that stuff. Okay, I'm shutting up.
That's right. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, talking about last weekend, not only we had our African-American festival going on, it was a lot of things that's going on. What were some of the things that that you experienced that you think people need to know? And what are some of the things coming up that that you think people need to know about?
So last week, let me see. Because see, how I've been doing it lately between my job and the businesses and organizations. Of course, it's summer, so a lot of things kind of get active in a way or do work. So I'm bouncing from here. I took a nap today, so that was good.
Okay.
After the garden. But let's see. We have the Truth Art Gallery coming up on the 30th. They're having a reopening. They moved locations. They're now on Bancroft and Franklin. There's upstairs and a downstairs. I also saw Nicole today. She came by the farm. So that was nice. On the 30th, I'll be there, like everywhere and all the stuff. But we also had the elephants dancing.
Elephants dancing.
Yes. Dee Brown, she brought a music live band group here to Danny Thomas Park. I was there the other day. That was awesome. The second festival this year at the park. Also, Tonya Duran Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Yes.
That's what
she had a baseball game there, and they had their kids and their church prayer for their vigil,
that's
for
great.
everything. So that was beautiful to go to. Kay Renee, speaking of her, and my teeth that hang around my neck, we had our event for the Entrepreneurs Club, which is a great location. If you're on the east side, I know people like east side and stuff, but that's my
that's
my
right.
area. I've been
That's
over
right.
there for a little bit over a decade, so I can kind of claim a side of town now.
That's right.
But,
and I actually know somebody from the east side.
Yep,
all right.
I'll be seeing it on the post.
That's right. That's
Elis.
right. They give the east side a hard time.
I know a friend of mine was on the post, and we in a couple movies together.
Hey,
and
that's
he was
right.
like, I don't know nobody from the east side. I'm like, oh,
hey, that's right.
But that was over there at the Entrepreneurs Club. It's a great space.
That's
You
what's
can look
up.
on my page for photos or Kay Renee's page and see the open mics that we have there once a month now. It was beautiful. Saw a lot of people. Natasha T. Miller, she was the feature, and also Megan Yashu was the feature. So that was beautiful. I did not know she had lungs like that.
Oh, matter of fact, Megan Yazoo, she opened up our first Black Lives Matter award with the Black National Anthem, and we did everything that we could to get that sister to be there, and she helped put CSRN on the map for the Black Lives Matter awards, and from there, everything that we had somebody open it up. We'll lift every voice and sing.
And I think definitely for one of my events over the stuff, I'm definitely got to book her again, because you see people on social media and stuff, and there's always the things that they're doing in their day-to-day life, and a lot of people, you never know, are awesome artists, but they're really, really humble. And I would have never known like the timing was perfect. And she said she hasn't performed in a bit. So those Black stars, those artists and unknown stars in general, try and check them out. Don't always try and go for the big stars. I heard Snoop's coming here and not one local artist is actually on the show with him. Now, that's not necessarily like that fault, but if you are a promoter or something like that going into anybody else's city, you should always check if there is some local talent that could be on the show too, because that is beautiful. We had the African American Festival, at Genuine, a Zap Band, and everything. I saw. I was at the bank earlier today, and it was kind of funny because they had a new security guard, and I walk in with my bag and my staff and everything, and I start beeping and ringing bells, and she was like, "Hold on, who is you?"
That's right.
It was funny. They had to come out like, "That's Jody.
He's okay. He's okay.
That's Jody. He's just here to do business and stuff like that." But yeah, so there was a lot of stuff going on. The city did a few things. There was a rain day on that Saturday, but mostly everything got done. I saw pictures of the parade. Of course, we had some prior stuff to do. So this is the first time in 8 years that I've ever missed an African American festival parade, which kind of sucks, but that's growth. Accepting that sometimes you don't need to be there. You move aside so someone younger, someone can get a chance to do it.
I feel the same way. Hey, listen, I wanted to ask you this question. I know we just had Petee Talley to come in and talk about issue 1. And I work as a voting official. You work as a voting official. Why do you think it's important that we get out, we strategize, and we take advantage of that opportunity to vote?
Because if you don't, they will. It's exactly as we've been talking about the show. They got knocked down in 2022.
Yes,
then they just got back up. Like, we want to ruin your lives. And that's a lot that I learned while in politics, while traveling between the State House and DC and stuff that's in my photos and stuff. But if we don't, they will. They will always be like, hey, we can take a little bit more. They're not going to pay attention. Just take a little bit more. Take this law, take this human right, take this. And if you're just so mad and upset and forget that you still have to vote. You can make all the posts you want.
That's
you
true.
Can make all the memes and songs and stuff like that. But if you don't actually voice your opinion, you've done nothing but waste breath, waste people's time, and confuse the issue that just keeps getting worse. You want better wages. You want to be seen in your community. You want to have grants come to your community instead of off to the suburbs or off to redistrict stuff, go vote.
That's right. Hey, listen, I wanted to bring up a couple of things, and then I'm going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with 5 minutes of heat. I want to bring up C.D. Dotson Chambers' family, and particularly her husband. I want everyone, let me put this ticker up, to support her and her family. Her husband was sentenced to, I think it was 15 years for disciplining his son. I would do the same. I know that if the police checks your children, they end up in a casket. I'm going to forever love my children enough to let them know that they're wrong. And we just recently saw the people that was responsible for murdering those 2 boys got off with just a little bit more than a pat on the wrist. So shout out to this family and support this family. And I know that our brother Sean Mahone is talking with CD and Steve Red right now. So shout out to Steve and CD that's keeping this issue alive and well. And we're keeping it alive and well too. So I wanted to make sure that was known. And something else that I wanted to process. Oh, also, I'm an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo, and we just celebrated 93 years. The Nation of Islam fell in 1974, 1975, and this was a time when COINTELPRO was putting to rest not only Marcus Garvey's organization, the Black Panthers, the Students for Nonviolence Coalition, and so many others. And the Nation of Islam also failed due to agent provocateurs and everything that could make a Black organization or movement stop. Well, in 1976, 1975, 1976, I'm going to bring up this brother. A lot of people may not know who Minister Jabril Muhammad was. He had recently passed, and there's a statement that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had wrote regarding his passing. The nation had failed in 75, 74, 75, and that meant that everything that you heard about the Nation of Islam was put to rest. Elijah Muhammad's name wasn't mentioned. No one talked about Malcolm X. No one talked about anything. It was this brother that went to Minister Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan at that time, and said, hey, listen, we need to restart the Nation of Islam and get it going. Were it not for this brother, it will be a great chance that there will be no Nation of Islam now. Without this brother encouraging Minister Farrakhan to get back up, to get back on the podium. And in 1977, Minister Farrakhan and Jabril Muhammad started working underground. And no one knew that mosques were being set up. And the people in Detroit had no idea that the brothers and sisters in Toledo were organizing. And this gave birth to the Nation of Islam as we know it today. So this is the statement that Minister Farrakhan had wrote, and it reads, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Nation of Islam has lost a great minister, a great teacher, a great brother, a great friend and helper in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and to me, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan personally. Words will never be adequate enough to describe what this man meant to the nation, the messenger, and to me in the cause of Islam. I pray that Allah will give me what he desires of me and to say what is need to be said at the National Janazah service for our brother, Minister Jabril Muhammad, at the National Center. And this will be in Mosque Mariam. And the date will become forthcoming. And that will be for everyone to log on, NOI.org, and witness that. If you've never seen a Muslim funeral before, we call it a janazah, where We say our words. It's not a lengthy thing, but we try to give our brothers and sisters their flowers while they're alive, and we only want the best for them after their passing. So now, that brother Jabril Muhammad, he would be one of our ancestors during Kwanzaa libation. When his name is mentioned, we say Ashe, one who changes a thing and one who makes a thing happen. So shout out to our brother Jabril Muhammad. Were it not for him, there would be no Nation of Islam now, because everybody quit. Everyone except this brother. So shout out to much love and respect to our brother, student minister Jabril Muhammad. And lastly, Jody, I wanted to put this up on the screen. David Davis Youth Center, they're having a 2-day conference. Let's talk about it. This is going to be Friday, July 28th, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. I was saying 12 a.m. last week. People show up in the middle of the night. And shout out to Deidre Brown for organizing this in David Davis' house. I remember when this sister had the idea, and she was going to everybody to seeing if they can help. And everybody would say, yeah, we can help you. And they didn't help her. And she didn't let that stop her. I want to have her on. So come on, Deidre. I'd like for everyone to hear your story. And also it's going to be Saturday, July 29th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is going to be at the People's Church, 1101 Heston Street. That's Toledo, Ohio. I still got to find out I wonder if it's People's Missionary Baptist, because it says MB there. Mm-hmm. So, hey, it may be it. I'm going to drive by 1101 Weston, Heston, not Weston. And see where it is.
Don't be giving the wrong address.
I know. Well, anyway, Deidre knows my heart, all right? And my heart's with Deidre. I've seen what she can do. I know where she's from. And it's great that she's able to help so many youth and families doing what she does. So, Jody, I think that I've covered everything. Will we go into a short break and coming back with 5 minutes of heat?
I think I'll do some things coming up. I just got a couple, and then we'll go into a small break and go into this poem called My Brand.
All right, let's get it.
So upcoming, if you guys like open mics and stuff, I have a lot of people that always ask me, where's the open mic? What's going on? And stuff. And it's like, I kind of find it. A lot of things, you have to search for them. So this is what's coming up this week. There's an open mic cookout at St. Paul's United Methodist Church in Toledo, Ohio, 720. You may see me there. It depends on my work schedule and stuff. This is baseball week, so the rest of my week is going to be kind of at the restaurant, bouncing around between things.
Right.
Friday, July 21st and 22nd, there's the planned Pethood fundraiser.
Okay.
I thought that was Parenthood. But Pethood fundraiser, that's Costello Tierra or Taylor Holloway. She does the wax melts and stuff. If you guys ever gotten gifts from me or been to one of my book signings or stuff like that, she's one of the people that does the wax melts of my stuff. She has a new location, fairly new, out there on Hill and Reynolds. So that location means some stuff to me if you know about my mama's kitchen, but that's some years ago before I even started poetry. But yeah, if you could make it out there, July 21st, 22nd, go check her out. It's an event fundraiser. And this Friday, also at 8 p.m., I am hosting the Retro Hip Hop Gala.
Okay, say that one more time.
The Retro Hipster Gala.
Okay.
So you heard of the Met Gala and stuff like that? Well, we got a hipster gala, hip hop gala of local artists. I think there's like 20 of them. Okay. I'm hosting, I'm performing DJ Dankish and King Black. Also, I'm performing. I think I said that twice.
That's okay.
On one of the stages. So this is going to be at the Bay on the docks in Toledo, Ohio. If you've never been, this would be a great opportunity to come. It's going to be good vibes, positive energy, all of that good stuff. If you haven't seen the reel, go check it out. It's on my page.
Okay.
At this Saturday, Terry A. Burton is having an art opening plus a birthday party at the Jose Martinez Memorial Gallery. I don't know why I can't talk, probably because I don't have my tongue ring in and all that good stuff, but that's right there on East Broadway. If you check my page, I've been to like 2 or 3 galleries over there.
Okay.
I'll see if I can make it. If not, I will be in at some point in time. So that's going on. There's Laughs on the Lawn. That is Sunday coming up. The outdoor comedy show. Shout out to Cool Keith. You've seen our commercials on the Bike Ride Matters.
That's
he
right.
also does comedy. One of the first comedians when I started my career 8 years ago who actually came to one of my open mics. I was unknown in the industry, and he was like, yeah, let me go and check this out.
Okay.
Gave me some great advice and stuff like that. Good friend of mine. And then Saturday, July 29th, I know we'll probably be back before then, but there is the special community day with partners at Tatum Park. So if you missed it this morning, I know 7:30 was quite early for the ribbon cutting or the recreation of the ribbon cutting at Sonia Organics Farm, garden.
Okay.
We say she has a farm right here in the middle of the hood, a couple of blocks down from where we're shooting this. So if you missed the ribbon cutting today, you can come for the community day, and we're working on some stuff. Spoiler a little bit, we might be hosting, or I might be hosting a bonfire poetry thing. So my poets beware. I might be calling on you. And then Sudsapalooza, if you like foam parties, taking you all the way back around to EDM and stuff. And the reason why my artwork dances, that is at Toledo's Main Street Bar and Grill, Saturday, July 29th. On my page too, if you like foam parties, if you like, just to relax, just to be around festivals.
I get it.
And to have fun. I seen a quote the other day about festivals are not where people go to hide from reality. Festivals is where people go to be people, paraphrasing, but that is what the world should be. If you're at a festival and stuff like that, it is all about love and bartering and trade and just enjoying life. You're not there to escape. Some people go to escape, but I go to see what humanity would be like without the pressures of politics, capitalism, money, greed, all of that stuff, and just have fun. So that's some things coming up. Check my page. There's a whole bunch of other stuff coming up, like the 2nd annual Stop the Gun Violence, which we hope to have me and the rest of my board here.
All right.
Boards.
Hey, that's coming up.
That is coming up in a couple weeks at the Frederick Douglass Center. They're doing some renovations right now. Shout out to Reggie. But that's coming up. You may see us in here. I may be sans next week because, again, baseball. I can never really say when my schedule is. Every time I get to see you guys and interact in the studio with the nice new mics and stuff, it's a pleasure. But if not, I can go remote, and I will be remote.
All right. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with 5 minutes of heat. So stay tuned. This is CSRN Podcast, a week in review. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter. It's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now, we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes. And we just decided it would be cool to add the community, because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just interact with people, especially during COVID. You still have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. Another shout out for Petee, Talley that came in from the Ohio Unity Coalition to talk about why we should vote no on issue 1. Shout out to Steve Red and C.D. Dotson Chambers and our brother Brian that's hanging in there. And if you want to support that family, we have put their GoFundMe on there.
And it'll be back on our page if it's not on there.
Right. So support this family. It's important to Black Lives Matter. It's important to CSRN that you get out and make sure you make something happen. Even if you can't come out to a protest, well, you can protest by supporting the Chambers family and just look at the crawler, go on GoFundMe and help that family. All right. So we're at that point of our podcast where we talk about how we close out. And I think that no one shuts down a political event, a awards presentation, or regular meeting the way we do with 5 minutes of heat and creative expression. So what do we have today?
So today we have a piece called My Brand. It's my way of breaking down nearly a decade of independent and over 2 decades of behind the scenes, in between, everywhere, of what it means to work on those things you pray for, to grind for those things that you mostly see people in the success stage, but not in the, again, the grind stage of the work mode, or how we get to the mentality of this is my brand. Right. This is what I stand for. And I don't mean brand isn't just merchandise. A lot of things are getting point click merchandise. I mean, what you stand for.
That's
that
right.
hill that you are saying that, I want to do healthcare, or I want to do politics. I want to be a teacher. I want to do anything of substance is your brand. You only get one life. You only get one image, one first impression. So that in everything you do is your brand. So, and shout out to all the viewers again, once a week, coming back again and sharing the stuff. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Hey, CD. So that's what we're about to do today. I'm trying to think, anything else? No last checks or anything?
I think that's about it. Other than, I think right after we do 5 minutes of heat, we'll check in and let people know how they can
get that awesome shirt.
Yeah, get that awesome.
Get
that awesome shirt. That's right.
Okay. So everybody, I hope this resonates with you. And if you would like to vote for me as the 3-time nominated best storyteller in the country, or the first-time best male spoken word artist in the country, you can go to my page or go to nationalspokenwordawards.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll see a vote here button. It'll take you to the landing thing, and then you vote with your heart's content. There's 2 weeks left, so whatever happens. There'll be a new video on my page tomorrow from the art museum. But that's enough about that. Let's begin. Peace. My brand. Look at my brand. Forget about everything you know about me as a person, a human, a living, breathing, struggling to figure it out person, and look at my brand. I sacrificed everything for this. Things that you'll never hear about in the promos. Whispers you'll only hear about from people who can no longer control me, and dedicated myself to something worthy of me. Look at my brand. See, this came from sacrifice of some type. And at this point, now you have to pay for it. I may network with you, but depending on how far along in the process we are, a lunch date, gathering, pop-up community event, or social gathering surrounded by tons of people is the closest, yes, closest you'll ever get to me. Look at my brand. I know it may look like the same shirt, different logo, but I poured everything into this. The items you see on the table changed me, yes, changed me in some way, and let me know that I can work for me. I don't have to ask for a vacation, beg for some health care, plead with my supervisor for a break, or get looked over because the person next to me has a better relationship with the higher ups. Look at my brand. If you're looking to invest, I have plenty of options, but please, yes, please don't belittle me with what I created by telling me what someone similar to what I'm doing has, or bargain me down to the bottom line where I make nothing for everything, yes, everything I sacrificed for. You don't need to know me, just the product I create. The exterior is all I'm offering because under the surface might break you, might discourage you, might overwhelm you with fear so much that you'll never, no, never want to leave your job. It's fragile, precious, and something that can easily shatter if I don't make the right moves. But with all that said, look at my brand. I take cash, card, various amounts of digital currency, but I cannot take an IOU. One time for the fam. We've known each other since whenever. Look out one time, or you made it, so you're supposed to give back. My bills, my livelihood, my family, my future, and everything I ever dreamed of is poured into what you see. Look at my brand. I hope you find something, yes, something you like. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. Ooh, how did that piece of work come to be?
I got mad. Most of my poems come from me getting mad, and then my gears start turning, and I want to have people, because again, it's not about me, it's about you. So giving the truest aspect of what this is like, because again, I've been at this for 8 years. I started off selling scribbles on paper, begging people to buy stuff, giving away stuff, and now people are like, I want that. But I have to remind them that you actually are wanting a piece of me. So I have to be, all of the stuff that goes into it. When you see people at these pop-up shops, entrepreneurship is big now.
That's right.
90, and I can comfortably say that 90% of the time, you're not getting what you invested in being there. And I'm not just talking about the money or the merchandise. I'm talking about time, energy, birthday parties, missed school stuff, missed job stuff, because it is a lot to believe in you. And it should be. It should not be easy. If someone tells you, oh, I got this easy way for you to run, just run, because there is no easy way in building something that has never been done before.
That's awesome. Hey, listen, for anybody that, if you like our podcast, we want you to make sure you comment like you've seen CD and others, and that's been commented. I didn't want to shout out everybody. Daggone it, because I know they wouldn't put the names up so that I know. But share our podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just click in Community Solidarity Response Network. We are coming up on the subscribers.
Good.
They're getting higher. If you want to support this podcast, you can support it via Cash App, CSRN 419. That's the cash tag first, or PayPal, CSRN 419. We're on Instagram, heavy on Facebook. We're on Spotify. We're trying to get that YouTube up and going. And also you can follow us on Twitter. Hit us up in our inbox, and we've got our Black Lives Matter signs. We got our defund the police signs. We still got some of those left. Man, I think that's it. And it's always, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Yeah.
Peace.